My daughter looked like I was a monster. For 3 years, I watched her flinch when I tried to hug her. She was 9 years old, but when she looked at me, it wasn't love I saw. It was fear. And I didn't know why. My mommy says you hurt her. She says you scream at her. The last time I saw her without a court-appointed supervisor staring at me, she told me, "Daddy, I don't think I love you anymore." Those words nearly killed me. I spent thousands of dollars, cried myself to sleep on the floor, and fought every day to get my daughter back. But my ex-wife, Sarah, had a restraining order that said I was a dangerous and aggressive man. The court believed her, but I had nothing to lose. I emptied my savings to hire a private investigator and a forensic lawyer. I spent months digging into the court records, and what I found, it didn't just clear my name, it proved that the woman I married had been lying to our daughter, to the judge, and to the entire world, for years. I'm going to tell you the story of how I got my daughter back, but more than that, I'm going to show you exactly how I used the court system to turn the tables on a liar. This is my powerful revenge. Sarah and I weren't perfect, but we were a team. We had a beautiful home, a great routine, and the most amazing little girl named Lily. I was a present father. I did the school drop-offs, the bath times, the bedtime stories. We shared 50-50 custody after the divorce. It was the one thing we could agree on. I thought we had a functional, albeit broken family, but I was blind. I didn't see the resentment building. I didn't see the planning. One Tuesday, I showed up to pick Lily up for my weekend. A sheriff's deputy met me at the door. The look on his face told me everything. He handed me a stack of papers. It was a restraining order. Sarah had filed an emergency petition, claiming that I had a violent temper and that I was verbally abusive. She painted a picture of a man who was unhinged, dangerous, and a threat to her and our daughter. She wrote that I threatened to take Lily out of the country. She told them I got in her face and screamed at her. She said Lily was terrified of me. The judge looked at the protective mother, the scared child, and the aggressive father. The court took it seriously. The hearing was a blur. I didn't have a lawyer yet. I was in shock. The judge, a man I'd never met, looked at me like I was a criminal. He stripped me of my 50-50 custody and gave me supervised visitation. That meant I couldn't see my daughter alone. I couldn't take her to the park. I couldn't teach her to ride a bike. I had to have a professional watching us, taking notes, judging my every move. But it was a trap. Sarah knew that if she made the process difficult enough, I would give up. She refused to sign off on the visits. She delayed, she changed the venue, she forgot to drop her off. For almost 6 months, I didn't see Lily. I just saw the cinder block walls of the visitation center, and each time I walked out, she looked more and more distant. Inside, I was dying. I lost weight, I couldn't sleep. I replayed every argument, every raised voice, every moment of our marriage, trying to figure out what I had done. But I couldn't find the monster she described, because he didn't exist. When Sarah finally allowed the visits to happen, it was even worse. Lily had changed. She was quiet. She called me by my first name. And then on her 9th birthday, she said it. "My mommy says you hurt her. She says you scream at her." She was parroting her mother, but the pain, it was so real. That's when I knew I had to stop fighting for the image of my family. I had to start fighting with evidence. I hired a lawyer who specialized in parental alienation. The legal discovery process is brutal. But this is where I got my revenge. My lawyer, a pit bull named Mrs. Vance, filed a motion to compel the production of documents. We demanded everything: emails, texts, social media messages, therapist notes. Sarah fought it, but the judge ordered it. Then it came, the box. Sarah's digital footprint. It was a gold mine. We spent nights cross-referencing her statements with the timeline of our marriage. First, the texts. Sarah told the court I sent her threatening messages. I have never threatened anyone in my life. The court claimed to have screenshots of these text messages, but they were blurry, cropped weirdly. So my lawyer demanded the phone records. The raw metadata from the carrier. The phone company records didn't match her screenshots. The dates were wrong. The times were wrong. She had created fake text message threads. She photoshopped arguments to make me look like a threat. Then came the witnesses. The legal discovery process is brutal. But this is where I got my revenge. My lawyer, a pit bull named Mrs. Vance, filed a motion to compel the production of documents. We demanded everything: emails, texts, social media messages, therapist notes. Sarah fought it, but the judge ordered it. Then it came. The box. Sarah's digital footprint. It was a gold mine. We spent nights cross-referencing her statements with the timeline of our marriage. First, the texts. Sarah told the court I sent her threatening messages. I have never threatened anyone in my life. The court claimed to have screenshots of these text messages, but they were blurry, cropped weirdly. So my lawyer demanded the phone records. The raw metadata from the carrier. The phone company records didn't match her screenshots. The dates were wrong. The times were wrong. She had created fake text message threads. She photoshopped arguments to make me look like a threat. Then came the witnesses. She claimed 3 neighbors saw me yelling at her in the driveway. My lawyer spoke to those neighbors. 2 of them told us Sarah had begged them to just say they saw a disagreement. They were terrified of her. They had no idea she would be using their names in a court hearing. But the worst part, the part that shattered me all over again, it was in the financial documents. Sarah had been getting $1,400 a month in child support and spousal support from me. When I lost custody, that support didn't stop. It actually increased because I was making more money, and she had full physical custody. It was never about protecting Lily. It was about punishing me and getting paid. When she saw she could use the court system as a weapon, she didn't hesitate. She created a fake crisis to cut me out of my daughter's life, and the system gave her a pay raise for it. Now we had the evidence, but we still had to prove the damage it did to Lily. My lawyer told me the judge would never overturn his own order without a professional evaluation. I filed a countersuit for parental alienation and requested a psychological evaluation. The court was hesitant, but I had the proof of the fabricated evidence. They had no choice. They appointed a court psychologist, a highly respected woman named Dr. Evans, to meet with Sarah, me, and Lily. Waiting for that report was the longest 2 weeks of my life. I was terrified that Sarah had done too much damage, that Lily was lost forever. But Dr. Evans saw through it. The psychologist confirmed it. Lily was confused, anxious, and exhibiting signs of parental alienation syndrome. She noted that Lily's fear of me was not organic. It was learned. It was taught. It was coached. The day of the final hearing, I looked Sarah in the eye for the first time in 3 years. She wasn't afraid of me. She was afraid of getting caught. I presented my case. I showed the judge the real text records. I played the voicemail she sent me, documenting her harassment, which she had conveniently forgotten to mention. I showed them the bank statements that outlined exactly how much money she was making off of my absence. It was a massacre. Sarah couldn't defend herself. Her lies were laid bare in front of a room full of strangers. The judge wasn't just denying her claims. He was furious. And then it happened. The revenge. The judge looked at me and said, "The minor child will be returned to the father's sole legal and physical custody. The mother is hereby ordered to undergo psychological counseling, and her visitation will be supervised, pending her future behavior." My daughter is now 12. She's smart, funny, and a little bit sassy, just like me. It's been a year since the trial. Lily found out the truth. She was old enough to understand. She saw the court documents. She knows her mother told her lies. She's struggling, but she's resilient. She's in therapy, and we're healing. She's in my life full time now. She calls me dad again. And when she looks at me now, I don't see fear. I see love. I see trust. I see a little girl who is finally free from a prison of lies. I fought for 3 years. I spent over $80,000 in legal fees. I lost my hair. I lost sleep, and I nearly lost my mind. But I never lost hope. The system nearly broke me, but it also gave me the tools to get my daughter back. If you are a father or mother right now, and you are in a fight for your children, do not give up. The system is broken, and it can be weaponized by a malicious ex. It's easier for a judge to believe a lie than to find the truth. But the truth will always win if you are willing to dig for it. Don't be the nice guy who lets them take your children. Get a lawyer who specializes in parental alienation. Demand the discovery, Get the phone records. Get the metadata. The truth is there. You just have to find it. I'm sharing this story because I know I'm not alone. If this story resonated with you, if it made you feel something, please hit the like button. It helps other parents like us find these videos. Share this in the comments below. Tell me your story. Every voice matters. And subscribe to Dad's Powerful Revenge to see the full, untold story of how I got my life back. Don't let anyone take your children, because they are the only things that really matter. Stay powerful.